you were the first person I ever saw do yoga at practice. You know, we all was over there stretching, thinking we getting all ready, and you would go over in a little spot and do your yoga, and which at that time I had no idea what that was. I just thought you was doing some weird stretching over there, but it was something that obviously allowed you to play for 20 years. But I want to also go back to not only the yoga, but the martial arts. You know, you were a black belt. You learned from Bruce Lee, who was one of the greatest martial artists of our time. Take us back to how you and Bruce kind of met and how you got involved in martial arts and then also in yoga.
Well, you know, I started studying martial arts in New York during the summertime between my sophomore and junior year at UCLA. And I was studying Japanese style. Mm-hmm. When I came back to start school, I wanted to, keep it up, maybe go once a week because, it really interested me. So I went over to the Black Belt magazine. I knew the guy that published the magazine. And he said, yeah, that style that you've been studying, they teach that here in Los Angeles. But there's a guy named Bruce Lee who has his own style. You might want to study with him. It's very interesting. And it kind of piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. So I went over, he set me up to go over to Bruce's house, right? So I go to Bruce's house. Bruce asked me a lot of questions about the martial arts. I told him, my dad boxed. And I had to fight a lot when I was a kid in the neighborhood and all that stuff. Bruce said, yeah, I had some experiences like that myself, So, we had some things in common. And then he said, well, show me what you can do. He had a heavy bag. He set the heavy bag up, said, I want you to hit the heavy bag. And Bruce got behind the heavy bag and braced his body against it and had me punch it and kick it. And, that's what I can do when I punch and kick. So Bruce said, that's pretty interesting. So they said, well, let me show you a few things. So Bruce called his wife out and said, get behind the bag, and brace yourself. And I'll have my wife, Linda, she'll punch and kick the bag. And she kicked the bag and my body flew off the other side. She was able to generate that much power and strength and, push that energy through the bag, and it made me fly off the opposite side of the bag. And from that point on, I said, I got to be able to do that. And that's how I got into it. And, so glad that I did that.
Yeah, I remember one day at practice, you threw a punch at me, not a punch where you were trying to hit me, but you said, yeah, B, I would have broke your nose in this many places. And I said, Cap, I would have to shoot you because I can't fight you.
Right, I wouldn't have been able to make it to my car living in the neighborhood.
I had to keep something in the car. I had to get to Inglewood and home, so I had to keep something in the car, Cap.
Right, so, it would have been too bad for me if I had done it.
Wouldn't have never done that. Cap.